Want to bring in D.C. Councilman Tommy Wells, who you saw in that piece. He is the sponsor of the bill pushing to legalize marijuana in the nation's capital. Also joining me, HLN law enforcement analyst and former D.C. police detective Mike Brooks. Councilman, I want to start with you. The opposing view, though, we'll both watch this. This is Nancy Grace. She joined me in the last hour. This was her reaction.
The arguments they are asserting are ridiculous. This is not about race. This is about marijuana as a gateway drug and people driving and being out in public under the influence of marijuana. That's what I don't want. I think they want to do it to get tax revenue. I mean, you're coming from D.C., where one of the previous mayors was caught on camera snorting crack cocaine. It's the wrong message to send. I mean, really, do you want your child smoking pot? Because if you don't support decriminalization.
Councilman Wells is here along with Mike Brooks. Councilman, what was decided on Tuesday night?
Well, on Tuesday night, what we decided was that if you're caught with an ounce or less in your possession of marijuana, that'll be a $25 fine. But the council still wants it to be illegal to smoke outdoors, which is really kind of just an incremental step, but it is a step.
What's the goal? To clear out the prisons, the first-time offenders caught with a small amount of marijuana, to get them out of jail?
The goal is to end, really, the goal is to end a social injustice. You know, 90% of those that are arrested for marijuana are African-American. The city is only half African-American. And we know that with 6 universities, you can't tell me that the only people smoking pot are African-American in D.C. So it's really an issue of a racial disparity, of an injustice. And once you have a criminal drug charge, you're not going to be able to, so many jobs prevent you from being able to work.
It's hard to bounce back from that. But, Councilman, what about tax revenue? Did that come into play, as Nancy Grace mentioned?
This is about decriminalization. This is not legalization. This is addressing a social injustice, a failed war on drugs that's had a disproportionate impact on one group of our citizens.
Councilman Mike Brooks is with us, a former detective in D.C. What's your take, Mike?
Well, you know, I think either, and Tommy, thank you so much for what you do for the police and firefighters in Washington, D.C. You're a big supporter of them. But I think if you're going to change the law, either make it totally decriminalize it, or, you know, or keep it as it is. But to go halfway, this kind of, you know, I call it a half-ass law now, I think it's going to make it more confusing.
Both sides?
Yeah, well, see, it's more now possession versus smoking. But to smoke it, you have to possess it. And if you're outside, you know, you're still going to get locked up. But a lot of people think it's basically like drinking in public in the District of Columbia. You're not allowed to drink out in public. You can drink inside your house. You now can smoke marijuana in your house, but you can't smoke it outside. But a lot of people have been arrested in the District of Columbia for drinking in public, and it will probably now happen for smoking marijuana if you're on your porch, because public space in the District of Columbia is building line to building line. A lot of people think they can sit on their porch and drink a beer, but it's actually illegal to do that too, Councilman.
Well, you know, there's a big difference between smoking pot and drinking a beer. But anyway about it is that, again, we spend millions of dollars each year arresting people. To what end? You know, I cannot say that the fact that a failed war on drugs, that 40 years of criminalizing marijuana has made our country and our communities any better. And we've seen a disproportionate impact on being able to get a job, participate in society, stay in school. It has not decreased the use of marijuana, so we're going to decriminalize it.
But marijuana is different now than it used to be. The potency of the active ingredient THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, is a lot stronger than it used to be. I'm not for it myself.
That needs to be had, and it will be had for a long time coming. Councilman Wells, thanks so much. Great to talk to you.
You bet.
Mike Brooks, you as well.
Thanks.